All right, as you can tell, I am from small town USA. I am from the middle of the middle of the middle of America. My small town had 8,000 people. We were all farmers, and we built a sense of community. We leaned on each other. If our tractor was broken, we used the neighbor's tractor. If the cows were hungry, we put them in somebody else's pasture. But what it did for me was give me this sense of community, and the sense of community that I had growing up, I kind of lost in my professional life a little bit, so I had to go find it. But from this small town in the United States, I ended up going to university. I'm a lifelong combative athlete. I've trained Olympians. I've trained world champions. I beat the living shit out of many fighters. Some of you know, some of you don't. It's all right. I only pick on the little guys, not the big ones. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran. I have 7 combat tours. It is not the most glorious thing I've ever done. In fact, I hated every bit of it. But I found a sense of community in the military, the same as combatives, the same as in the military. It's the same that I grew up in. And it was wild for me. I enlisted in the military right after September 11th. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and I thought I may as well go be a Marine and go fight. Maybe not the best decision I ever made. I was a very average Marine, but it was awesome. I got to do a lot of cool shit. Got to go all over the world and meet a lot of cool people, and it kind of led me to this industry. After my military career, I got into advertising sales. I was absolutely awful at selling. I don't really have like the makeup to go be a salesman, to go out and push a product. I opened a gym. I thought, listen, I like to lift weights and beat people up. I probably can do this. The business dynamics between owning a gym and working out are vastly different, and I didn't understand it, so it was a massive, massive money loss for me. I went back into the government to work for a civil engineer after this. I'm not a civil engineer. I don't know the first thing about it. I was just a negotiator. When I was in the military, I was an interrogator, so for me to ask questions and get information was pretty easy. This is what I did for the government. I also was horrible at that. I got into logistics sales. I was moving freight all over the world. Again, I'm not a salesperson. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I wanted to make money, and I see money, and I wanted sales. So from logistics, I got into merchant processing, which is my entrance into this industry. I wanted to get people merchant accounts. I didn't even know what a merchant account was, but I had a really good friend who made a lot of money doing it, and I thought, maybe this is my ticket. This is what I want to do. 2018, I was working in merchant processing. I had a really bad day at work, and I quit. I stood up. I lived in California. I had a massive house, a bunch of cars, wife at the time. I had kids. I had bills to pay. And with this, I didn't really know how I was going to pay them, and I probably should not have quit when I did, because I went home that day and was like, oh, fuck, what am I going to do? So I needed to figure it out. I needed to regroup and get my shit in order and really understand, like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And I needed to ask myself this really difficult question, like, what the fuck am I even good at? Like, am I good at fighting? Am I good at lifting weights? Am I good at selling? Am I good at marketing? Or am I just very average at all of it? This question, people ask me all the time, like, how did you get into this industry? I was like, because I failed at every other fucking thing that I did. I was terrible at it. So with this, I looked at the merchant processing, and I was wondering how in the industry was making so much money. How were people driving Lambos? How do they have beach houses? How are they flying all over the world? How do they do this when I was only getting paid in merchant processing one time? For any offer that runs, no matter if you're e-commerce, if you're doing adult, if you're doing gaming, if you're doing whatever, there's like so many things that have to happen. And I was getting paid one time out of all of these transactions. So I needed to create, in my world, a non-traditional role that allowed my creative mind to work. I had to start thinking like a marketer, not a salesperson. I don't think linear, like go sell, I want to move this product. I'm kind of like hippie-ish. I like free-spirited, and I was like, how do I let my creative mind work and flow? And then how do I use this to make money? So I spent about 2 years traveling. I had saved up some money before I quit my job. I sold my house, and I spent 2 years traveling and asking questions. I just wanted to connect. I went to show after show after show after show, and I would literally walk the floor, like the floor is out here, and stop at every single booth and just ask people what they did, like how do they make money? And not like what their product is, but really a deep dive into them, like how do you sell your product? What pain points do you have? What is the product or service and why is it beneficial for me? And then how could I help you? So during this time, I found so many industry experts on just sheer luck or just persistence in asking the questions, and I started to study them. I wanted to find the best of the best of the best, and I connected with them and basically asked them to mentor me. I was like, any of these booths out here, anybody from any one of these companies at the top level can instruct you and teach you on what they do. And I would say that they're industry experts. If they can afford a booth here, they're an industry expert. And I just learned from them and ask questions. So I went through about these many things, but like manufacturing, logistics, I went down creative, copywriting, page design, CRMs, fulfillment, payments, customer service, traffic providers, affiliates, private equity firms, venture capitalists, media buyers, card issuers, fraud mitigation, and funnel builders. Remember, I worked in merchant processing. I was getting paid one time. On this, there's a list of maybe 14 or 15 things that have to happen for an offer to work correctly. And I was like, listen, if I could figure out a way to get paid 14 or 15 times versus getting paid once, I'm onto something. I figured something out. So I basically started developing these partner relationships. I started signing agreement after agreement after agreement. Not because I was pushing their service, but every company out there has a referral agreement. They want partners to sell for them. They probably have sales teams too, but they want just independent consultants that are out there selling. Like if I'm having a conversation and it's like I'll use one of my partners, Mokum Ads, and somebody needs traffic, I'm like, oh shit, I know somebody. And then I just make that connection. But what this has done for me is given me a sense of community, a sense of family, like I had when I was growing up, like I had when I was in combatives, like I had was in the military. It gave me a way to lean on what I would call family. And to me, that's important. I wanted to work with my friends. I wanted to party with my friends. I wanted to go out and drink with my friends, but I also wanted to make money with them. And it made a whole lot of sense. So signing these referral agreements, I went out and said, you're a traffic network. Amazing. How do I sign a referral agreement? They all have them, every single one. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do it. And then manufacturing, they all have them. Payments companies all have them. Like CRMs all have them. Card issuers all have them. And I was like, okay, this is cool. Now I have all these referral agreements signed. How do I operate? How do I actually make money? So for example, gaming offer. I meet somebody who's running a gaming offer and they want to scale. How do I help? For me, I don't know the first damn thing about a gaming offer. I don't need to. The industry experts out there know their offer. They know what they need to happen. All I need to do is ask what their pain points are and then go out and research how do I solve these for them. So I find as many possible pain points as I can, right? And it could be one thing or 10 things. And I go out and I lean on my network of referral agreements and get on the phone and I start calling. I'm not pushing a service, I simply ask for help. And in this time, when I'm asking for help, if I get a solution, I'm like, boom, I got it. Now I take the solution and I apply it back to the original offer. So what happens for me is pretty amazing, and this kind of a stroke of dumb luck. So I would get business for the company. I was solving their pain point, one. Two, I was referring business back. So instead of getting paid one time like I did in merchant processing, or getting paid 14 times with an offer, I was actually doubling that. So I'm almost double dipping on every single one and just asking them questions, answering questions, and solving potential pain points that they neither want nor have time to solve. So, cool story, right? How do I get paid? I get paid on every single one of these referral agreements that I've signed. Some are big, some are small. Some are, I don't even know that I'm doing it, and it might happen 6 months from now. I get a paycheck from somebody or a bank deposit, and I'm like, oh fuck, like where'd this come from? And I have to track it down, and they're like, do you remember 6 months ago, we were at a show in Dubai, you introduced us to this person? Yeah. Anyways, their offer started to scale, they're making good money, here's your percentage. And I've been doing this for a number of years, so now it's literally, I wake up sometimes, and I look down, and I'm like, well, somebody made money, somebody got paid. And if somebody got paid, then I get paid. And usually I get paid twice, so from both ends. And it's been amazing for me. So I went from, trying to be a salesperson to just solving problems. And the problems I'm solving, I don't need to know the answers. I just need to know the people. I need to know how to connect them and then do my job to connect. So the referral fees are one thing. That's one way that I create these revenue streams. Consultation fees, people ask me now. They ask to pay me to go do this for them. Finder's fees, higher splits. I can negotiate anything I want at this point because it's like, I already have the network and it took me a couple years to build it, but it's really not that hard. I promise you I could do the same thing right now, having already done it, to go out in every one of these booths and say, how do you make money? What are your problems? What are your pain points? How can I help you? Do you have a referral agreement? And every single one of them will say, yes, I guarantee it. So for me, it's been like, oh shit, this is easy. I can just go out and talk. Like many times it's not at the trade show, it's at the after party or the pre-party or at the lobby bar or whatever it is. And I have a conversation with somebody, they have a pain point. I go back to my Rolodex, if you don't know what that is, it's because I'm old, my list of agreements, and I find, oh shit, now I have a solution here. Then I make a warm introduction. I make what I would call a family introduction. And I'm gonna say like, listen, you two need to speak. I'm not a part of it, I'm here to help. If you guys screw each other, that's not on me, that's on you two. But make sure you take care of each other. So it's been, it's been a blast, honestly. I've met amazingly cool people. I've traveled all over the world. I've been able to connect people to solve problems with doing very, very little work. All I did was make an introduction and say, I hope you guys figure it out. For me, it's the easiest sale in the world, and I absolutely love it. So there's multiple streams of revenue with this, but you all have jobs, right? You have day jobs. Don't quit that shit. Like, continue to do this. There's a infomercial from like the 90s. It was like set it and forget it. And this is what I do with all my referral network, or with my referral network. I make the introduction, I move on. I still have my offers. I still work my day job. I still consult for people. I still a million different projects that I'm working on. I still do these projects. But after I've made the relationship or the introduction, I step off and let the experts work together. So for me, it's really important to work my day job, whatever that may be that day, continue to operate as I love to operate, and then just have essentially side hustle money that just flows in naturally. And I'm like, shit, I don't even know where it came from. But it's awesome for me because I don't have to spend a whole lot of time doing it. Execute my plan or execute your plan, work your connections and get creative. This is kind of where I've taken this even outside of this industry. I was explaining earlier, I was telling a story. So my girlfriend, she gets her hair done for free. You know how she gets her hair done for free? Because we're internet marketers. We know how to run traffic. We know how to create local ads. And we literally just said, she was getting her hair done. I had no idea how much it was. It was like $400 or $500. And that, I don't have that problem, obviously, but I was like, holy shit. Like $400 or $500 to get your hair done. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, why don't we run ads for these people and make a referral network for the hair salon? I do the same thing with my cars. I do the same thing with real estate. I'm working on a renewable energy project in Portugal. It's the same thing. I've just taken the model of trying to solve solutions or solve problems and replicated it to every single industry. Fitness, I told you I owned a gym. I do the same thing for personal trainers. They want clients, I can send them clients, right? As a marketer, I can run a local Facebook ad or sponsor a post or boost a post for $20. $20 is nothing. I can then get the services that I want in my life for almost free, and everyone wins. I win, the customer wins, and the business owner wins. So It's a plan that I've built and I've replicated among many industries, and it's a blast. I promise you when I say this, I do very, very little work with this. I have my offers, I run the things that I run that are intriguing to me, but this, when they ask me to speak here, they're like, well, what do you do, like, what's your side hustle? Like, what's your this side job? I'm like, honestly, man, I just connect people, and it's the easiest thing I can do. And it's warm introductions on Telegram, or it's phone calls, or it's Facebook Messenger, or Signal, or in person at a trade show, and it's been amazingly fun. I get to live and work in a world where I tell very few people no. I don't have to say no. If they ask me if I know how to do it, I'm generally gonna say no, because I don't. But I can connect them to the people that do. And with this, I do very little work, a lot of more time for me to play, and I have side revenue or residual revenue coming in. So this, I can't speak about this enough, I just talked about it a bit, but don't limit your industry. In this world, I think that we operate within like affiliate marketing, whether it be affiliates or whether it be gaming or adult or neutral, whatever, we just stay in our lane. And I think really this is a problem that we're having. If one industry like takes a dive, they roll to lead gen, or they roll to Nutra, or they roll to adult, or they roll to whatever. Like, get creative with what you're doing in the industry. Keep your job, your career is your career, but expand out. Start thinking bigger than what you do from 9 to 5 every day, and have a lot of fun with it. Go out and make introductions. Ask difficult questions from every one of these booths out there. Just ask them what the hell they do. And they're gonna be like, oh, we do this, and they're gonna sell you, but ask them what they do on a Tuesday. Ask them what their actual job is, not their product or service, and do this for every single industry you can find. I promise you it will start slow, but as you begin to grow with this, you wake up some days and you're like, oh shit, somebody got paid. There's a lot of money here. And what did I do for it? Literally, I woke up and it was in my bank account. So this has been years in the making. I have it kind of down to a science for me and how I work it. Use what works for you. Be creative with this and have fun. Then repeat your process. Become a master at connecting people. And it doesn't mean just in this industry. It means, like I said, go if you need your oil changed in your car, ask them how they get new customers. Ask them if there's a discount, if I can refer people to them, right? If you're a lady or a man, you need a barber or hair salon, ask them. If you want a personal trainer, ask them. Ask them how they acquire new business. What you're gonna do is start to understand there's a pattern to this, and you're gonna become limitless in your ability to connect in any industry, and it's a fucking awesome time. I can't tell you, the town that I live in, I go to local bars, I rarely pay for drinks. A lot of times I don't pay for food. I walk in and I'm like, what's up? I know people, Jimmy, Joey, Bobby, Susie, whoever. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I sent somebody in or whatever, they're like, oh my God, thank you so much. You will spend a life of happiness, people coming up and thanking you for what you do. And it's really awesome, actually. So with that, I had to keep it under 20 minutes, which I'm closer now. Do I have any questions? I'd be glad to answer them.